Howdy folks, I'm Brian, and here's some Reddit. Our first story is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Teenage Daughter to Stay with Her Aunt Because My Older Daughter Didn't Want Her in the House? My wife and I have two daughters, Laura, 20, and Lily, 15. Laura is studying away, but came home for the weekend. Lily just had her first boyfriend breakup, and it's hit her hard. She's been crying in her room for the past few days. Unfortunately, Laura has a bit of a wind-up personality and was tormenting her little sister about the breakup, which only upset Lily more. She was saying things like if the boyfriend left her for a prettier girl and saying that she didn't blame him, etc. Horrible things. We did tell Laura repeatedly to cut it out, but she didn't. To the point that Lily went to bed in tears. You're parenting wrong. Laura has eye problems. She has been visually impaired since she was a baby. Her current glasses prescription is -28, and she can't wear contacts. We woke up this morning to her screaming from Laura's room. Laura had woken up and put her glasses on, but the lenses had been popped out. Lily admitted to doing it and said she threw the lenses out the window. We did try to search for them outside, but they couldn't be found. Laura was crying her eyes out and couldn't see anything at all. She does have a spare pair of glasses, but as she only came for a couple of days, she didn't bring them with her. To be fair, Lily regretted what she did as soon as she saw how upset Laura was, but Laura didn't want Lily near her and begged us to keep her away. My wife's sister lives nearby, and I asked Lily to go and spend the day there, because Laura was blinded, and looking after her had to be our main concern. I then got a call from my sister-in-law saying, "How dare you? Throw her out of the house for that spoiled bully." It's not about spoiling anymore. Laura was blinded and terrified, and too scared to be in the same house as Lily. It was right for her to ask her to leave until we could get Laura back to her place where her spare glasses were. I do get that I was harsh just to tell Lily to leave, but what else could have been done when our other child was unable to see and was crying in fear? Oh yes, your poor bully daughter who was blinded and just was so upset by the mean old little sister who would have minded her own business until her sister started bullying her and treating her pretty badly. You know, I think realistically, the way to handle that situation, there were a lot of probably good ways to handle this situation with Laura bullying your daughter. But your other daughter, but this was not one of them. You should have told her that if she continues to do this, then she's not going to be welcome back in your house. I mean, it seems like one daughter, your little daughter, your 15-year-old daughter, she went to bed crying in tears and was upset. And you weren't like, oh, well, Laura, you need to go and spend the day at your aunt's. But no, the moment, Laura is crying and is having problems, you're like, oh, Lily, you need to go away because your sister's afraid of you. It doesn't seem like you understand, like, the disconnect here. And I think that really kind of shows that you favor one daughter over the other, and, it's really unfortunate. Your 15-year-old daughter is going through a hard time, and you need to be there emotionally for her, not just be like, come on, kids, stop fighting. Oh, please stop. Don't make fun of your sister anymore. Just please stop. It doesn't sound like you made any real effort, is really what I'm saying. So anyhow, take care, good luck, and yeah, you're the jerk here. You're the jerk the oldest was, in your own words, tormenting her little sister. You should have made her leave. I can't blame the youngest for wanting revenge, to be honest. Your oldest sounds horrible. Yeah, like, I don't understand the kicks of being a 20-year-old and thinking that it's cool to, beat up on a 15-year-old. Especially with such an emotionally fresh wound. Like, she seems like not a good person. Hopefully she learns her lesson from this. Join me now for some tea. And while you're here, you can always hit that like and subscribe button. I'm just kidding. Do whatever you want. Am I a jerk for telling my girlfriend not to make cake for her party? Okay. I know the title sounds bad, but hear me out. My girlfriend, a 23-year-old female, and I, a 25-year-old male, don't live together, but we live nearby. She lives in an apartment by herself, and I live in a larger one with two female roommates, 24 and 23. She wanted to host a dinner party, and my roommate suggested that we could do it at our place since it's bigger. Note, when I say dinner party, I mean only the four of us plus her one guy friend. We're all being COVID safe because we're all in the same social bubble. Anyway, the party starts and it's going well. We haven't been dating for very long though, and she's a little unfamiliar with my apartment. We finish eating and she realizes that we have no dessert at my place, so she'll just make a cake. Now, I wasn't in the kitchen when she decided to do this, so I had no say in it, and when I realized she was using my ingredients in my house for her cake for her party, I stopped her. I told her it was inappropriate to use the guests' food and money for the party. I said we could just do something else, but she seemed really upset. I blew it off at the time, but the next morning she was really angry. She said that I should have let her make the cake, and I embarrassed her in front of the other guests. I said that it was no big deal, and she got more upset and said that she was going to stop talking to me. Now she won't answer my calls. Am I the jerk? OP. Generally, if your girlfriend is hosting a party, you are too. And if you aren't, you're doing something wrong. You haven't been dating very, very long, but you sure didn't show her like a good side of you here. And the thing is that she wanted to make a cake and she was going to use your ingredients. If you really were this, bothered by it, then you could have broached her later and been like, hey, can you pay me back for the flour or, give me some flour in return for later? But I mean, that's, relationships are about sharing sometimes. And in this case, you kind of failed the share test. I'm sorry, OP. I'm going to have to say you're a jerk here. You're the jerk and a cheap steak. A steak. You're a cheap steak. You're the jerk and a cheap skate. I was going to say it again. You really want to go back to being single, don't you? The ingredients to make a cake cost less than $10. Yeah. Yes, but the girlfriend also used toilet paper and flushed the toilet, so at least add another 10 cents to that. All right, our final letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not going along with my girlfriend's lie on her family Zoom call? I'm a 22-year-old male, and I was invited to my girlfriend's 21-year-old female extended family Zoom call where everyone eats dinner together and then plays games. As we were eating, they were mostly talking amongst themselves, and then one of her aunts said to me, I've heard a lot of good things about you. I'm told that you're an engineer. So is my husband. He asked me what field of engineering I was in, and he is an electrical engineer at a major firm. I was a little confused at this point because that's not true. I work in the maintenance department at a children's hospital, and I'm a building maintenance tech. I went to trade school for building maintenance right after high school, and what I told my girlfriend was that I always wanted to pursue my bachelor's, but only after I've had time to save towards it. I do not want to take out any loans. I told him, actually, I'm a building maintenance tech at XYZ hospital, but I'm considering my employer's tuition reimbursement program because I want to apply to a mechanical engineering program this year. It got really awkward, and then her uncle was nice about it. Her uncle and her dad started asking me questions about what work was like in the hospital for a non-clinical person at this time, and the conversation went in that direction. She chimed in when they were asking about school and her post-grad plans, but was pretty quiet. After the call, she called me on FaceTime and said that it was basically the same thing, and I said, basically the same thing? Then why did you lie about it? She explained that her aunts could be classist and that I would have been better if I had just gone along with it because I made her look stupid in front of her family, and that her aunts probably think less of both me and her now. I told her that I like what I do, it keeps a roof over my head, and I've been very fortunate to keep my job in this entire time, all without having a college degree yet. After she repeated back that she felt stupid, I said that I would like to talk to her later because I felt like the conversation was not going anywhere, but now I'm really feeling like I did something wrong here that makes things complicated with her family. Am I the jerk for not going along with her lying about my job to help her save face? Edit, I've been with her for 6 months. No, OP, you're not the jerk here. You can't possibly have covered for a lie that you didn't even know existed. You thought maybe perhaps she was confused about what you did, but it turns out that she was actually lying. And so if she looks bad in front of her family, it's because she lied and not because you did. And again, how could you have possibly let her save face here and you save face when you just thought it was a simple misunderstanding? That's just what it boils down to. She didn't prep you ahead of time and be like, you need to tell my family that you're an engineer. This was without warning. She made you take a test that you had no idea you were taking and you failed it. According to her, I think you passed. But yeah, that's just me. So no, you're not the jerk. Not the jerk, you were honest and managed a perfectly pleasant conversation with her family. Her fudging the truth is on her. If she was going to do that, she could have broached the subject with you to see if it was something you'd agree for her to do. I have to wonder, is the aunt really classist or is she? I have to agree with most of what you said, except she didn't fudge, she lied outright. Yeah. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. If you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching. I have a email, so if you want to email me something, feel free to. I also have a Discord now, so we're building a nice little community here. There's quite a few people in there now, so if you want to join us and have a chat, feel free. I think it's going to be a really fun thing for us to kind of have some conversations. You can talk about how wrong I am. It's fine. I'm fine with that. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.